Well, good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods. Let me know how the sound is on this video and things, because I've been working on straightening some things up here at the man cave, and trying to get things right. And I had a bad plug. I think I've gotten that remedies, but let me know how the sound is, if it's better than where it was, and hopefully it's not cutting out. The other thing is because you use the Mcvay camera, you have to have a converter from the mixer to an iRig, and the iRig actually uses a 9-volt battery. And so if the battery starts getting weak and I get long-winded, then it'll cutting down. So I got a multitude of things that go on, and I know this is not like a real studio like ESPN that have people that their job is just to set all this stuff up, and then the host goes through and they put up exactly what anyway, it's a one-man show, and I do the best I can. But one of the things that you cannot disagree with in here is I try and make you think. I literally don't pull things out my rear end. I try to statistically, or through history, through some kind of matrix, no matter what I talk about, that I at least have something to back it up. You know, when you listen to guys like Jabba the Hutt in there who says, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, and you kind of scratch your head and say, how do you get that? He's got more interceptions, less touchdowns, less yards per completion. How do you get that he's a better quarterback? Because he got more wins. Okay. I'd like to get those kind of jobs myself, because I worked my behind off to bring you the news and things. But be that as it may, my question in here right now is it time to start putting Kellen Moore in that conversation with Kyle Shanahan, as well as, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart, Tim McVay. Wow, I literally, I'm beginning to lose my mind here with Tim McVay. Excuse me, Sean McVay. Wow. Is it time to start putting him in that conversation? Forgive me here. I've just been going 1,000 miles an hour with Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And a lot of you are probably giving me the side eye now, saying, you're crazy. But wait just a minute here, because I want you to think about this, okay? I know Cowboy fans think that we are the worst team in the world and things like that. It's a problem of perception versus reality. A lot of people will say, Zeke Elliott is not the guy, our running game is just not there, we can't run the football. Okay. But here's the reality. We had Scott Linehan as our offensive coordinator last year. We had Kellen Moore as our quarterback coach. Now, you could look as the season went on, where Dak had started out from where he had regressed in 2017, and, was okay. Then we got Amari Cooper, and things started going on. It takes time when you start coaching and changing things for things to get better. A lot of factors went into that. The offensive line, I actually felt, once they got rid of Paul Alexander, also helped with the Cowboys and things. But last year, you looked at Dak taking a lot of sacks. You looked at a lot of shorter passes and things, and you looked at the team struggling, especially in that first half. But it got better as the season went on once we got Amari Cooper, once we had some talent added to the mix. Now, here's the thing. We don't know how much is all Kellen Moore or how much Jason Garrett is in the mix. I don't know. I wish I did know. Sometimes you see stuff like last week where the offense just seems to be like a modern offense where you're doing a direct snap to Pollard. You ended up getting Dak rolling outside. You got the pocket moving and passing outside. You were doing a lot of different things that make you say, wow, that make the defense say, we can't just try and be concerned with Zeke Elliott. We got to cover all our bases. And you saw a passing game like you haven't seen from the Cowboys in forever. So you question, is that Kellen Moore's influence, or is that Kellen Moore and Jason Garrett and the fact that we don't have Scott Linehan? I'm going to go ahead and say more of that's Kellen Moore. At least I'll give him the credit for this right now, because we've seen what we had with Jason Garrett and things through the years. And none of that stuff that you saw this past week was really things you saw from Jason Garrett when Jason Garrett was calling the plays. So let's just say that this is Kellen Moore. And if it is, if our hypothesis is correct that it is Kellen Moore, then I think you got to start looking at him as an offensive genius like those other two. Now, those other two are head coaches now. You know, they were offensive coordinators, believe it or not, with the Redskins and didn't show that much. Not much happened with Sean McVay with the Redskins to make you think that he was going to be the offensive genius. That took a Jared Goff, who his rookie year, they were kind of questioning, was that the right guy to draft? He took that guy and ended up having him really, really productive. Now, unfortunately, Todd Gurley gets hurt, and he's being exposed again, and defenses have kind of caught up to Sean McVay's offense. But you look at that, and you say, okay, he took Jared Goff, who was a nobody, and he elevated him to a Super Bowl. You look at Kyle Shanahan, who had was with Kirk Cousins, and you think some of the play of Kirk Cousins may have been influenced by Kyle Shanahan. And you're now looking at the 49ers, be it they had a fourth-place schedule, but you're seeing them with only a one-loss. Is it one or two? Okay, well, with a one-loss record in the NFL. You're seeing those guys elevated. And I'll even throw another one in there. I'll throw Frank Wright, because you look at where the Eagles were with Carson Wentz in that offense with Frank Wright. He's gone, and last year's offense wasn't anywhere near as good as it was when Frank Wright was there. But you look at even now losing Andrew Luck, and last year Andrew Luck was fantastic. Andrew Luck had one of the best years of his career. Even taking Jacoby Brissett, and I won't say Jacoby Brissett is a bad quarterback, but he wasn't that high pedigree guy that you would think would be doing the things and leading the Colts the way he has. Now, he does have shortcomings, but you have to look at Frank Wright elevating that guy. So let's say that it is Kellen Moore, between Kellen Moore and John Kitna, who's the quarterback coach. Clearly, Dak doing his Dak dance, Dak throwing the ball better, his mechanics, he's not losing his mechanics. He seems stronger, more confident. He has been elevated from where he was. How much do we say about this Cowboy offense? You don't get this from too many shows, and this is part of the problem with Cowboy fans, that you don't realize the things that you're getting because they don't dig very deep. You got to pull back the onion layers to get to the root of the problem. But last year, we were 23rd at passing the football. And that's, of course, why they said Dak Prescott, third-tier quarterback, even though we had some receivers that aren't as good as what we have now. We averaged 221 yards per game, 7.4 yards per pass. You know where we are right now? By now you probably already know. You're first. You went from 221 yards to 312 yards per pass. Per game. That's freaking incredible. 91 yards more per game. 91 yards more per game. But wait, there's more. We went from 7.4 yards per pass completion to 8.8. Almost a yard and a half every time we throw the football. We get a yard and a half more. But wait, there's more. 58% of the time on third down, we convert. There's no other team in the NFL that's over 50. None. That's it. That's the list. But hold up. I know what you're thinking. Well, it's because teams are stopping Zeke Elliott and just giving Dak Prescott the field. That's what the haters say. They're focusing to make sure Zeke Elliott doesn't get anything, so they're just leaving everybody wide open. Well, if that's what they're doing, it's kind of interesting because last year, running the football, we weren't the best at running the football last year. We weren't. We were 10th with 1,984 yards, averaging 122 yards, 0.7 a game, which is good. But believe it or not, New England last year ran the ball more effectively than the Cowboys by committee. That's a fact. We were 10th, they were 7th. Balanced football. But here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. As bad as Zeke has been, and we've had some games where I think three games under 60 yards, we are actually 7th in running the football this year. We have actually improved running the football, getting 131 yards, 9 yards more per game running the football. That may surprise a lot of people. We're actually running the football better because it's not just Zeke anymore. It's also using Austin from time to time. You know, when they remember, oh, we got that guy, let's go ahead and do an end around with him. You also have Tony Pollard, who has almost 300 yards. So the load is not completely on Zeke Elliott, but the perception is that we can't run the football. And nothing is really further from the truth. So you look at this and you say, wow. The difference being Scott Linehan, Kellen Moore, and I will throw in there also better receivers. But that's a major, major improvement. And it's time that we start recognizing the difference of Scott Linehan versus Kellen Moore and start thinking of Kellen Moore as one of those young, genius offensive coordinators. All right, I got to start smoking tonight. Got a couple of pork shoulders. I picked up 40 pounds of chicken wings. Not going to cook them all tomorrow. But I have them ready just in case. I know Jet D is supposed to be coming over. I believe my cousin Daniel is going to be coming over. Maybe Rashid will be in the house. Michael Anthony Fitness. I hope my boy E2 Blue will all be here. We're going to be live streaming. We'll be checking on all the early games and things. And hopefully the Dallas Cowboys find a way to get a victory. Now, I'm looking outside, and it's getting cloudy. That same storm that they're talking about in New England is first coming through my house and headed that way north. But you know what? I'm going to make another bold prediction here. I'm looking at the radar. I'm not a weatherman at all, but they called for rain all day yesterday into today. It didn't. And I'm looking at this storm. This storm seems to be moving pretty quick, and I'm betting that by the time we get to game time tomorrow, that storm will be just about out of there. We'll see. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope you're having a great Saturday. I'll see you soon.